Ladies and gentlemen, let me ask you something. How many times have you felt unstoppable in the morning, full of energy and motivation, only to find that by the evening that fire has burned out? How many times have you started strong, only to fade when the excitement disappeared? We've all been there because motivation is like a spark. It lights up quickly, but just as quickly it fades away. And that's why so many people never reach their true potential. But today, you are going to hear a truth that can change your life forever. A truth that separates dreamers from doers, starters from finishers, and average from extraordinary. This is not about waiting for the perfect moment or the right mood or the sudden rush of inspiration. This is about the one force greater than motivation, the one power that outlasts excuses, builds character, earns trust, and turns ordinary people into legends. That force is consistency. If you stay with me until the end of this speech, you will understand why consistency beats motivation every single time, and how applying this principle can completely transform your life. So sit up, lean in, and listen closely, because what you are about to hear is not just words, it's a blueprint for the life you've been waiting to create. Motivation is often described as the spark that gets you started, but the truth is that spark burns out quickly if it is not fueled by something deeper. Motivation depends on how you feel, on your environment, on the energy around you, and on the circumstances of the moment. That is why some days you wake up ready to conquer the world and other days you can barely pull yourself out of bed. It is unreliable because it is tied to emotions, and emotions are never constant. Consistency, on the other hand, does not care about moods, feelings, or circumstances. It is the steady heartbeat of progress that keeps going whether you are inspired or not. When you show up every day, even when you do not feel like it, you build habits that become stronger than your excuses. A single burst of motivation may push you to start a workout, write a page, or chase a goal, but consistency is what transforms that one effort into a lifestyle, a body of work, or a success story. Think about anyone who has achieved greatness in any field. They did not rely on being motivated every day. They built routines and habits that allowed them to keep going when the excitement was gone. Consistency takes over when motivation fails, because consistency is not about how you feel. It is about who you decide to be. When you repeat the same positive actions long enough, they become automatic, and that is when success begins to feel natural. The real growth happens in the moments you want to quit but choose to continue anyway, and that decision, repeated over and over, shapes your destiny. Motivation will get you started on the first day, but consistency will carry you through the hard days, the boring days, and the days when nobody is clapping for you. That is why consistency is greater than motivation. It does not rely on temporary energy. It creates permanent change. Motivation is a visitor, but consistency is a resident that stays and builds a home within you. Discipline over emotion is one of the most important truths in life because emotions are unpredictable while discipline is a choice you can control. There are days when you feel strong, energized, and ready to face challenges, and on those days it is easy to perform at your best. But there are also days when you feel tired, unmotivated, discouraged, or even defeated. And if you let your emotions decide your actions, you will quit more often than you continue. Success requires the ability to push past the feelings of the moment and honor the commitment you made to yourself long before the emotions changed. Discipline is the ability to say, "I don't feel like it, but I will do it anyway." It is showing up to train when your body is sore, waking up early when your mind begs for more sleep, and working on your craft when no one is watching or applauding. That repeated act of discipline builds resilience, and resilience builds strength that emotions can never match. People who rely only on how they feel often live inconsistent lives because their emotions change with the weather, with circumstances, or with the opinions of others. But disciplined people rise above that because they operate from principle, not from mood. Discipline creates structure, and structure creates progress. Over time, it becomes clear that the most successful individuals are not the ones who were always inspired or always excited, but the ones who refuse to let feelings dictate their actions. Every great achievement is born from thousands of moments where discipline won the battle over emotion. When you commit to this mindset, you stop waiting for the perfect mood or the right motivation to take action. because you already know emotions are unreliable. You begin to trust your discipline more than your feelings, and that trust carries you forward when others give up. The truth is, discipline liberates you from the control of fleeting emotions. It makes you consistent, it makes you accountable, and it makes you unstoppable because nothing external can shake your inner decision. The people who master discipline are the ones who turn ordinary routines into extraordinary results because they understand that greatness is not about doing what you love only when you feel like it, but about doing what is necessary regardless of how you feel in the moment. Small steps create big results because success is rarely built in one dramatic leap, but in the quiet repetition of daily effort. People often imagine greatness as something achieved overnight, but what they do not see are the countless hours, the little choices, and the small sacrifices that built the foundation. Every time you choose discipline over comfort, every time you commit to one more page, one more workout, one more hour of focused work, you are adding a brick to the structure of your future. One step may seem insignificant on its own, but when repeated over time, it compounds into something powerful. Just as drops of water can carve stone, small actions performed with consistency can reshape your life. The problem many face is the desire for immediate results, the expectation that big dreams must be matched with big actions right away. But true growth is gradual, and rushing the process often leads to burnout or disappointment. Small steps are sustainable, and because they are sustainable, they are unstoppable. They teach patience, they build habits, and they remind you that progress is not always visible in the moment, but it is always accumulating beneath the surface. Consider how someone learns a skill. One practice session may not feel transformative, but after weeks and months of those sessions, the improvement becomes undeniable. Or think about health. A single healthy meal will not change your body, but consistently choosing better meals over time will transform your energy, appearance, and confidence. The secret is that small steps do not just create results, they create momentum, and momentum is what carries you forward when motivation fades. Once you start building momentum, the steps feel easier, the habits become stronger, and the vision becomes clearer. The beauty of small steps is that they are accessible to everyone. You do not need to have all the resources, all the knowledge, or all the answers to begin. You only need to take the next step in front of you, and then the next. And over time, those steps connect into a path that leads you exactly where you want to go. Big results are nothing more than the sum of small, consistent actions performed with intention and persistence. The greatest victories are hidden in the smallest choices, and when you honor those small steps daily, you prepare yourself for the extraordinary results that follow. Consistency builds trust and character because it proves reliability not only to others, but also to yourself. When you commit to showing up every day and following through on your promises, people begin to see you as someone they can depend on, and that trust becomes a powerful foundation in relationships, careers, and personal growth. Trust is not built overnight. It is earned slowly through repeated actions that match your words. Every time you honor your commitment, you send a message that your word means something, and over time that message strengthens your credibility. On the other hand, inconsistency weakens trust because when people never know if you will show up or follow through, they stop believing in your reliability. The same principle applies internally. When you stay consistent with your goals, your routines, and your standards, you start to build self-respect, and that self-respect becomes the cornerstone of your character. Each small victory, each promise kept shapes how you see yourself, and when you see yourself as disciplined, dependable, and resilient, you begin to act in alignment with that identity. Consistency is not glamorous. It is often repetitive and unnoticed, but it is in that repetition that true character is forged. Life will always present challenges, temptations, and distractions, and in those moments, consistency becomes your anchor. It reminds you of the values you chose and the person you are becoming. People admire talent, but they trust character, and character is proven when you continue to show up long after the excitement has faded. When you are consistent, you teach others that they can count on you, and you also teach yourself that you can count on yourself, which may be the most powerful form of trust you can build. That self-trust fuels confidence, and confidence drives you to take on bigger challenges because you know you will not abandon yourself in the process. Ultimately, consistency is not just about reaching goals. It is about becoming the kind of person who honors commitments, respects discipline, and lives with integrity. That is the essence of character, and it is built brick by brick through the steady practice of consistency. Consistency turns ordinary into extraordinary because it transforms average effort into exceptional achievement over time. Talent can give someone a head start, and motivation can ignite the first spark, but without consistency, both of these fade away. What truly separates those who achieve greatness from those who remain average is the decision to keep showing up, keep practicing, and keep refining their craft day after day, even when it feels repetitive or unremarkable. Ordinary actions, when done consistently, accumulate into extraordinary outcomes. A person who reads 10 pages every day may not seem impressive in the moment, but over a year they have finished several books and gained knowledge that can change their life. Someone who trains their body for 30 minutes a day may not see immediate transformation, but over months and years their health, strength, and confidence become exceptional. What looks extraordinary from the outside is often nothing more than ordinary actions done consistently from the inside. Consistent. The world celebrates the results, but it often overlooks the discipline behind the results. Consistency creates mastery, and mastery is what makes the extraordinary look effortless. The greatest athletes, artists, leaders, and professionals are not simply gifted. They are relentless in their commitment to practice and improvement. Each day of consistent work compounds into skill, resilience, and confidence that talent alone could never sustain. Even when progress feels slow, consistency is quietly building strength beneath the surface, preparing you for the breakthrough moment that others will call sudden success. In reality, that success is the outcome of years of ordinary days stacked on top of each other. The beauty of consistency is that it is available to everyone. You do not need to be extraordinary to start, but by committing to steady effort, you eventually become extraordinary. The process is simple but not easy, because it demands patience, discipline, and faith in the long-term results. Those who embrace it unlock a level of achievement that others miss because they give up too soon. Extraordinary is not a destination reached in one leap. It is the reward for choosing ordinary effort repeatedly until the accumulation of those choices sets you apart from the crowd. Consistency is the bridge that transforms ordinary actions into extraordinary outcomes. Consistency outlives excuses because it removes the power of temporary setbacks and forces you to keep moving forward regardless of circumstances. Excuses are easy to create. They are born out of discomfort, fear, and the desire to avoid hard work. People tell themselves they are too tired, too busy, too inexperienced, or not ready yet, and those excuses become the reason they never reach their goals. But consistency leaves no room for excuses, because when you commit to showing up every day, no matter what, you train your mind to push past limitations instead of being controlled by them. Excuses are built on feelings, and feelings change constantly, but consistency is built on decisions, and decisions shape destiny. Every time you choose consistency, you silence the excuses that would have held you back. Over time, this practice strengthens your discipline and proves to yourself that you are capable of more than you thought. Excuses fade when faced with evidence, and consistent action provides that evidence. For example, someone may excuse themselves from exercising by saying they are too tired, but when they commit to even a short workout daily, they realize their energy improves instead of diminishes. Someone may excuse themselves from pursuing a dream because they lack resources, but by taking small, consistent steps, they attract opportunities and growth they could not see before. Consistency is the antidote to excuses because it replaces "for places I can't" with the "I did." It proves that progress is always possible when you refuse to stop moving. Excuses are temporary stories, but consistency builds a permanent legacy. People who rely on excuses remain stuck in the same cycle year after year, while those who rely on consistency break through barriers and achieve lasting success. Life will always offer reasons to stop, whether it is failure, rejection, or challenges beyond your control. But if you choose consistency, you outlast those obstacles. The excuses that once felt heavy become irrelevant when measured against the progress you make by showing up daily. Consistency does not demand perfection. It only demands persistence is stronger than any excuse. When you decide that nothing will stop you from taking the next step, excuses lose their voice and results begin to speak louder. That is why consistency always outlives excuses, because it is rooted in action, and action always defeats hesitation. Consistency is the thread that ties all success stories together. Motivation may inspire you to begin, but it is fleeting and cannot carry you through every challenge. Discipline steps in when emotions waver. Small steps build momentum into great achievements. Trust and character are forged by showing up every day. Ordinary efforts transform into extraordinary results, and excuses lose their power when consistency takes the lead. Every key point leads back to the same truth. Greatness is not about what you do once in a while. It is about what you do consistently, even when no one is watching, even when you do not feel like it, and even when the results are not yet visible. If you choose consistency, you choose growth, you choose resilience, and you choose to become unstoppable. I wish you nothing but strength and clarity on your journey. May you find the courage to keep moving forward one step at a time, knowing that every effort counts and every act of consistency brings you closer to your destiny. Thank you for giving your time and attention, and good luck as you continue to build the life you truly deserve.